we're back, and I feel it.
We're back.
I feel it. Never too shy.
Guess who's back?
I know we had a little breaky break because your girl got flooded, and not
cute.
Yeah, not like the cute flooding.
Not a cute flood.
No, like a flood, like a Chicago sewer flood.
Like this?
No, way less than that, but it was like gross, and it really wasn't in here as much as it was like in another room, but it still affected like the space that we recorded, which kind of stinks. I feel bad for my mommy, but we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
it's time for a makeover. It's time for Love It or not Love It or List. So what's that show that comes in like? No, we're not listing it yet.
Love it or leave it. Either love the podcast or we're leaving it. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't want to leave it. I love it. But yeah, hi guys.
Hello.
We're all back.
You're on a sick one today.
I am a sick one today.
I like that.
He gave me a Rolio to have.
No, it's a Rolade. It's for your stomach.
To let my stomach feel better. Ugh, she's not doing well.
Welcome to 30.
Yeah, right. I'm like after 30.
Dude, after 30, everything like.
Right.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You're not
Do
30?
not say it. No, yeah, but just don't say it starts to break. Don't say it starts to hurt, because it does.
Yeah, just crack a little more.
I don't want to believe that. You know what I mean? I don't want to believe.
Of course, you shouldn't have that mindset, but
it's happening.
If my fiance was here, he would literally tell us like, you got to prioritize your health, and it's like he gets into me about this all the time because he's like into fitness and he is really fit and he's a firefighter and he runs and all this and that, and I just eat chips after work, and it's just like we're two different people. But like he's not wrong, because now that I am 30, it's like I want to build, what is it called, stamina. I want to build that. I want to one of my dreams honestly is to be a runner. I want to outrun the fuck out of people. I want to be a runner.
I'll run my mouth, run people, run orders,
run after the elotero.
I was gonna say,
right.
I was gonna say something, but never mind. Go ahead.
I just want to run with all that, but I also want to be like fit doing it.
That's great.
Yeah, I get
and it's
that.
like, and I feel like your heart, it's just like good for your heart and all these things and like whatever. But no, girl, it's a whole thing.
You just want to feel good. Like that's what I was thinking. Like I want to feel good. Like it's not even. My brother the other day, I told him, you're not even losing weight. And then he's like,
oh, damn, why'd you say that?
Yeah, I don't know why I said it like that. And then when I said it,
jeez,
because he's always telling me like, oh, you know why I said it? Because he's like, you're always drinking, you're always doing this, you're always going out. And then like kind of body shaming me a little bit. So then I was like, dude, you're not even losing weight and you're on me about losing weight or whatever. But then he said, I'm just trying to be healthy, you know? And that's at the end of the day what we want, you know?
And I think it's all about balance, because I'll be like, man, I gained weight, but like I haven't switched up anything. And my mom called me out. She's like, but how many coffees do you get from Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts? And you don't get sugar-free ones. And I was like, okay, Dixie, you don't have to come for me so hard.
I'm calling you out.
But it's true. I mean, if you think about like the little things, they add up. Coffee, alcohol, some of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's like really true. I don't know, you guys. I'm trying out here, but I know I could step it up a little bit more, and that's like my own battle that I'm trying to fight. But so speaking of ourselves and all of the awesomeness going on in the air, hi, we're back, and then of course we got to do our affirmations to kick off the show really quick. So let's start from our side here.
Hey, I'm not a side anything.
I don't know why I said a side. I meant this side.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
Because if it's my right,
I'm your right hand. I'm your right hand.
You're my right hand.
But I'm left to the camera.
But I feel like you are on my right, but to the camera, are you on my right?
She took that very personal.
Yeah, she did. My girl had me analyze.
No, I feel that. I feel that. And I'm about to talk about that too. Right
now. So my word is playful exploration.
Ooh.
That's not a word, but my two words or phrase, they're playful exploration. Because I think I'm in a point in my life where I'm trying new things and I'm doing fun things I haven't done in the summer besides like the basic summer shit that we talk about.
And I love that you're recording it. I love that.
Yeah, I do. Some people hate it because they'll be like, I'm the person you have to like.
No,
click
you're not.
30
Wait,
times on Snapchat.
People hate it?
Oh my God. Some people are like it should be illegal
I get what
to
you're
record
saying, like,
as much
she's
as you do
probably
on
like
Snapchat.
overposting is what they're
you're overposting.
Only on
what
Snapchat.
They think.
I don't think I do it
I don't think you're
else.
doing it, but
Thank you.
That's what people might be thinking.
Yeah, some. I mean, I had some comments.
I want to ask, what are you doing that's different than like the old stuff or like the stuff that you've done before?
So I am trying new activities. So I did like a paint and sip, but like graffiti, spray painting. I made my canvas and I really got to think about like where I'm at in life and like what I want to put on a canvas. I went to some live music event from, I think it's called So Far, something like that.
Ooh.
They do it all over the world and it was super intimate. Like lighting was dope, live performances, a violinist, like everything. It was just so different. It was like folk, R&B, rap. What else have I done? Trying new food. I tried Ethiopian food for the first time.
That's cool.
And just being open to trying new things, going new places without questioning it.
You know what's crazy?
And just allowing myself to experience. Because I'm the person that's like, why are we going there? Ooh, what's there? I don't know if I like this. You know, I'm used to like the normal. So I think now I'm in playful exploration mode.
And by your post, you would never think you were that other person. Like you would think like you're a playful person. And it's crazy because it gives me a new perspective of like when I was growing up and in high school, I thought my teachers were boring. And with her, I'm like, dang, she's living her life. And I like
Today's
that.
teachers are so fun. And maybe we just didn't see our teachers go through that. Maybe they were the most funnest people in the
because
world.
we're in that age category now.
Yeah. But I see it all over like TikTok too. They'll be like, when you're a teacher in your 20s, they do some really fun stuff. And then they show themselves teaching. And I'm like, they have a whole life.
I'm like the real life Hannah Montana, y'all. Like
Put your wig on and you go out.
Miss T and Tati are two different people. Like I switch it up. But yeah, I went to the Malibu Barbie Cafe with my goddaughter and my comadre. And so I've just like, instead of like doing the usual, I still hang out with my friends, of course, but instead of just going to a movie or going to get a drink at a bar or going to the same club, going on a boat, like I'm doing different things. And I love it. Like I feel like I've always been playful, but it's the exploration part. Like I'm exploring things in places I haven't been to or things I want to do that I haven't done. I got more on the list for the summer, so we'll see how it goes.
And that keeps you young. That keeps you real young.
It does.
Yeah.
And you have to have people that are willing to try these things with you, or people who are the ones to, you have no say. They just take you there. Yeah. And you allow them to like let you explore.
Yeah. And some of those things lead you to other things, which is dope. Yeah.
Definitely.
I love it.
So that's
I love your new era.
Yes, me too.
Summer Tati era. I think for me, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's the way that I'm phrasing it. This affirmation is like I'm coming back to myself, right? And going back to a lot of my things that make me happy. And the backstory behind that is I had this like epiphany, this moment, and I was talking to my fiance and I was like, I'm not saying this is your like fault. I'm never that person who's gonna start blaming things on you. I'm my own person. I have my own brain, my own arms, my own ass. Like I can move and do things. Like LOL, right? I know Tati wants to say something so bad.
You know, it was gonna be the stupid, obvious joke.
Yeah.
You talked about your ass.
Yeah, you know, my crooked ass.
Crooked ass.
But I was like, listen, there's just like this part of me where I feel like, not that I gave things up, because I don't think I gave up things, but a lot of things for me, and we took a walk like in the neighborhood the other day, and I just was like, there's things that I stopped doing, I would say not post relationship, but like after getting into my relationship. And I get it, COVID, I get that, whatever. But for me, it was like these like little things, and that meant a lot to me. And I was like, I don't really do them a lot. I was like, and with all due respect, I was like, you didn't really give up anything in this relationship. Like your schedule is still the same. You still work out. Like everything's the same, in my opinion. I didn't know you prior to being with me, but like, from the sounds of it, like everything seems the same. And if it's not, please tell me so that you can go back to doing the stuff that you love, the things that made you happy. So for me, I told him, as simple as they are, I want to take walks at night or run. I'm trying to be a runner. And I was like, but my ass can't run yet. But you know, like slowly
she a runner, she a track
get
star.
into that. I want to be a track star, damn it. No, I'm just kidding.
Like that.
But I was like, I want to like jog through the neighborhood. I want to take these walks. I used to like love that. These were, I mean, I would take them really late at night, and I should not do that, and I don't feel comfortable doing that because my ass was like, one time, I'm not even being like, sorry, trigger warning, but like I was like maybe 9 o'clock or 9:30, and I was walking by a park by my mom's house, and this naked guy ran out of the alley and scared the shit out of me. Yeah, ever since that day, I was like, I don't know what he was doing, and I'm actually really afraid to know. And when I saw that, I just turned around and ran. Like I ran home, and it was just really scary, you know. Yeah, because I was like, but then it made me think like, I really hope there was nothing else there that I could have helped, you know, because I don't know what he was doing or who was there. I don't know. I just saw him naked run in the alley, like past me. He was scared because he saw me. And I'm like, I'm scared of you. You're fucking naked. And you're like an older man. Like it was just the scariest scene. It's dark. It's late. Yeah. It was a really messed up situation. So after that, I stopped the like late night walks, but I would have been like,
put some clothes on.
Yeah, put some fucking clothes on. But also like I was really scared to know what was happening and why you were even there naked. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just like, this is scary. So I did tell him, I was like, I want to start doing that. And then I was like, I was like, I don't mean this in a bad way. I was like, but I did tell him, I was like, two things happened in this relationship that like are a little concerning because like the relationship should make you glow up or like make you a better version of yourself. I was like, and it's a joke, but I was like, it's half a joke, but I was like, my ass gained weight, and I was like, and my ass got into more debt, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And we started cracking
What the
up.
fuck is that?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, I literally like when you met me, I was like smaller, and I'm not saying it's your fault because you look the same. If anything, you look better. And I was like, because you prioritize
Because you make
yourself.
him better.
That's what I'm saying. Because
So why are you making me? No, I'm just kidding.
I made his ass better.
Yeah.
That's why he looks
Period.
better. His pockets are fatter.
Period.
Everything's good, baby. Because
everything's fatter.
everything's fatter. But like with me, I'm like, I want to lose weight. So I was just telling him, point is like all the things that like I want to do that used to bring me joy. As simple as a walk. Like I don't care. It brought me joy, and that's what I want to do. Like I can't walk the dogs because like they're like going different ways. It's like a whole thing. I was like, so the dogs can stay home. You know, they'll go on their own walk another time. But I was like, I just want to like get back to the stuff that I loved. So I brought that up, whatever. So I'm kind of like encouraging those who feel like that maybe they stopped doing things they loved, whether it's because life got busy, which is understandable. You know, you get married, you have a kid.
Talk about that after that. This is good.
Yeah, life gets busy. Let's remember that because I don't want to forget. But point is, you know, I want people to remember like that it's never too late, and it's also okay to pick up where you left off at, right? Like this podcast was a project that I had, I think, before even the pandemic happened, and it took a while, but we got here, and in a way, I'm grateful because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if this would have been the cast at that time. I don't know. We don't know. A producer, we don't know. Marco and I were like, it could have been, but we don't know. But I'm happy. That's why I'm a believer of God's timing because like this is what it was supposed to be. That's what I feel. And I think he feels the same.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the only person that we had was Nestor. So
Yeah.
you were always here from day one.
Like that?
Yeah. But hey, at that time, maybe we would have said no. Maybe life was different. We don't know.
Yeah.
Then I came.
And we love that. And we love that.
Puerto Rican bomb.
We love
Yes.
that.
Puerto
me
Rican
too.
bombshell.
So yeah,
That's what you meant.
That's your affirmation.
that's my affirmation. Just getting back to like the core of yourself or like the things that you love that you had to give up because, you know, like I said, a relationship or God forbid, like, you know, you're grieving a loss or just anything could happen. Life is lifing, right?
Yeah.
A child, anything like that changed your dynamic or just changed your life trajectory. You know, it's never too late to like go back to the things that brought you joy. As simple as a walk.
Yeah.
Hey.
She said, amen. For me, it's kind of like similar to yours. Just because there's a lot of things that have been happening like in my dating life, where like I always feel like we were talking about a little bit yesterday, where like the guys that are approaching me or the people that are approaching me, like I feel like they look at me like as a fetish. Like it's a fetish to them because it's not like they don't typically would go out with a guy or whatever. And so like a fetish or like an option or like a side, like you said in the beginning. And so for me, like I'm constantly having to remind myself like, baby, you're rare. You know what I mean? Ooh. And it's like that's my affirmation. Like you're rare, you know? And
that's the name of the episode, baby, you're rare.
And a lot of the times, like we, like in my position, especially, like I feel like that's how I felt my whole life. Like having to change a little bit and morph a little bit for people. And the thing is that that's a constant reminder to me, like, don't do that. Like, don't do that because this is the reason why, like, even like maybe Marco and you thought about putting me onto this or whatever. And so a lot of times what happens is that I always like, I don't know why I psych myself out into thinking like I have to be this cookie cut version of what people think I am. And I don't have to be that, you know, I don't have to be that. And that's why that's kind of like my affirmation. Like, do you're rare and just keep being you. And my brother is always telling me like, you're stupid. Like what? I mean, he says it in a bad way. He's like, you're stupid. Why are you changing who you are because of people? Like tough love, you know?
Protective over you.
Yeah, he's very protective. But I think the most important person that needs to understand it is ourselves, you know? And so, yeah, that's something that has been in my mind and my heart and my spirit. And so, yeah.
I want to forget. So back to what you said.
Yes.
So that reminds me of a conversation I had about tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. Okay. And tunnel vision could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. So I was told this story and I want to share the story and I want to get your thoughts on the story because I was like, wow, I didn't think about that. So there was this boy right? And he went to visit his uncle in this beautiful house, gorgeous house. And so the boy's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see your house. And then the dad's like, or the uncle's like, relax. This is what I want you to do though. And he gives him a spoon and he puts like oil on the spoon and he puts it in his mouth. Okay. Right? And he's like, I want you to walk around and look at everything in the house, but don't spill don't spill the oil. That's in the spoon. So like he's holding the spoon with oil on it.
Oh,
okay. And he tells him, go ahead, look around the house. So the boy goes around the house. He loves the house. It's beautiful. He comes back and the oil spilled. It's not on the spoon anymore. So he's like, what happened? He was like, I was so caught up. Your house is so beautiful. Like I forgot all about the oil. And he was like, I need you to do it again. But this time I want you to balance and still admire the beauty, but stay focused. Okay. Right? So he did it again and he was being more mindful. And so he was able to enjoy the house and not spill the oil. So I think that's a great story and analogy that helped me think about life. Because sometimes people on the pro side of it are like tunnel vision. You're so focused. You have your goal. You're going to do everything possible to get to that goal. Everything else takes a backseat in your life. Right? Which essentially is good because then you get things done. You're goal orientated. You have a growth mindset. But then it's like, you should still be able to practice enjoying things around despite what's your goal. Yeah. And I feel like with me, I want to do more of that. Like I'm always set on my goals. I'm going to do this, do this, do this. But it's like, wow, I could still focus on my goal and still do this, but enjoy the journey, enjoy the people, enjoy the process in which takes me there. So I really like that analogy. And so what do you guys think about tunnel vision? Do you have it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What are your thoughts?
I have ADD, so I definitely don't have it. I don't have it.
No, but actually you do have it because look at where you're at. You know, look at what you've been able to do.
That's just true.
And to some people, the reason they never get to a place like that is because they don't have tunnel vision or they don't have like goals. And I think you do actually have goals. But I also get that you're like...
everywhere there's a squirrel. I'm like, well, look, squirrel. No, that's a great point. And thank you for saying that. I do feel like not that like it's easy to get to like your goal because it never is easy. It's literally why I think it's a goal, right? And people like set out to like meet them, right? And to meet their goals and everything. But I just feel like honestly, it felt like second nature to me. So I don't know if tunnel vision is just second nature, kind of like another sense, how we smell, we can see what is like scent.
Smell, touch, hear, feel.
Yes. And maybe tunnel vision's the one for me where it's just like that's the only option. But I never liked the idea of putting things in a back seat because I don't know, our time here is so limited. So I don't want to be like, oh, I just only focus on this one goal that I forgot about everything else, including friends, family, love, like everything else, you know, took a back seat. And it's like, I'm such a believer and it's so hard, but I'm such a believer of doing it all and balancing it all. And I think the day I become a mom is the day I'm really gonna be fucking tested to see if that's true, because in my head I have a whole LOL, but I have a whole vision of like what that life's gonna look like. And I think mom or dad or parent plans it that way. They're like, we're gonna do this and that and that, and then never fucking happens that way. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'll be back at work in 2 weeks or whatever. I'm like, I have a whole thing because I don't ever want to put my career or myself in the back when I become a mom. However, when that day comes, shit might change real quick, you know, for a lot of reasons, whether it's, you know, no fault to anything, but it just could be different, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, I live in the moment a lot. And a lot of times...
Yes.
You're like, I need a tunnel. Somebody build me a tunnel.
I do need a tunnel. But then I remind myself, like, there is a lot of stuff that I have done that... I feel like we're all in different places. Like for me, like me having being tunnel vision hasn't always been easy, and I don't want that to be a cop out, but we're all in different situations, you know. And it's not like, oh, poor me, like this is the situation or these are the cards that were dealt to me, because to me, like having even like pursuing like education, you know, right after high school, like I see my brothers, both of them at that time. I think it's changed now a lot. But at that time, they had gotten like scholarships and they couldn't accept the scholarships because they didn't have papers, you know? And so for us, being tunnel vision, like has always been a little bit, in a sense,
it's almost like it was a privilege.
It was taken away from us.
And you didn't have that privilege.
So for me, Like a lot of times people think like, oh, you could be doing a lot more, or you could have done this, or you could have done that. And I think for myself, like, and this is why I like affirmed your accomplishment, that you do have like goals that you've already accomplished. And so for me, like I have to remind myself that, but also now we're living in times where like there are more opportunities. Those are some of the things that maybe when I was a kid I could use that as an excuse, but now I don't. And so for me, yes, I live in the moment, but I do want to have more of that balance, and I do want to surround myself with more people that are goal oriented, because at the end of the day, like I do want that for my life. And I know that I'm always thinking about legacy, you know, and you can leave a legacy, and you can like I love people, and I want to be able to like share whatever I have with people. And so that's part of having a little bit more like of a tunnel vision, you know? And so, yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
I like what you said about, having people around you that are goal orientated. Like, I'm a strong believer in like, show me who you're around and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
I want to be around people who are empowering and who are uplifting and goal orientated, and people who hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And I think now I want to add to the list is now I want to be around people who are going to challenge me and like poke at me to take more risks.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in life, I've been playing it really safe. And I think I want to take more risks now, now that we're on the 3rd floor. And my birthday's coming up. Leo seasons is coming up. I do want to challenge myself to take more risks.
Yeah.
And so ideally, I want to keep people around me who challenge me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm scared of some of it, but I mean, there are things that I do want to try.
Yeah, because just the potential that you have, every single person, like, I said that earlier, like, baby, you're rare. And a lot of times people say like, oh, well, anybody can do what you do. And it's like, they can, but they're still not you.
Oh, I always say that.
And so like, but I do want to be more riskful like you.
I'm not
what
yet.
What does that mean though?
I'm not yet.
To take more risk. Like people say that a lot, right?
So,
but what does that mean to you?
Like,
it
even
could mean
this.
anything. Yes. There we go. So I was asked that question not too long ago. Like, what was the biggest risk you've taken? And I was like, because like this person was like, I want to go skydiving. I want to do this. I already been here. I've been there. And I was just like, wow. So I would say personally, I think this podcast for sure is a personal risk for me, because I'm literally putting myself on a platform open for anybody to judge me, criticize me, talk about me. Anybody could hear what I have to say. So I still have to be very mindful of the way I present myself and the platform itself. So that's a huge risk in so many ways. And then 2, I think it's a risk, but then it's like I'm on the fence. Going into the PhD program, I feel like was a risk, but then it wasn't, because I do feel like I do a good job of time management. But I think the biggest risk is going to be when I'm done with the coursework this week and it's all up to me to just write my dissertation. And like, you don't go to class. It's just like, how are you going to find the time? How are you going to self-manage and get things done and, say no to things? That's going to be a risk for me, because, or I don't even know if I want to say the word risk, a challenge, a risk. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so I don't know if you would call that a risk. For sure, maybe a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, the risk I would say is for sure this podcast. Yeah. But I felt like a little stupid that, no offense, but like, I was like, dang, that's it? Like, but I don't I don't take risks.
What do you mean by that?
So for example, like a risk would be like, I went skydiving. I went here, I went that, I took a risk. So the person I was talking to, his biggest risk was he started his own company from scratch. So he's a founder of a company. So he's like, that was like a personal risk for me. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, risks sound like they have levels, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have levels.
Jumping out of a plane or whatever, skydiving, that's just like, am I going to die?
So maybe I'm thinking I am not a thrill-seeking risk person. Maybe, should I clarify that?
Maybe, because I guess there's levels, right?
No, I was a little confused with the show thing. Like, you lost me there. You said something about...
Why, the podcast?
Yeah.
For me, it's a risk because I'm risking...
No, I know that, but you said... what did she say right now?
I don't know.
Like,
about being in a show?
Oh, I got lost right now in a little...
No, she was just saying that like the guy...
No, she was going deep in that, and I don't know, I lost it. Did you catch it?
No, I don't remember what she said. But I did want to say, like, I completely agree that I think there's different types of risk. Because like thrill seekings, I am not a thrill seeker.
I'm not either.
No, don't give me no thrill.
Me either.
I'm
I hate
not.
heights. I hate
I'm
roller
not.
coasters.
I hate roller coasters.
I'm not.
all of that
Me
shit.
too.
No.
I will take pictures of you. I will be the purse lady, the bag lady. I'll watch your kids. I'll watch strangers' kids so you could go on. I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
good.
Either. Even getting on a plane, like
Yeah, those are all risks that like not, but like taking personal growth risks, right? Like you said, putting yourself out there, starting a business, investing into the stock market, into
Right.
401ks, into your real estate, buying a house. Those are all other types of risks that I would look at personally much higher than jumping out of a plane.
Absolutely. Oh, agreed. 100% agreed.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I agreed.
Like I'm not jumping off a plane, but I know that my chance of dying is low. You know what I'm saying? But like buying a house, like that risk or what you said, like investing or whatever, like to me that would sting a little more.
Of course.
You know what I mean? If it goes wrong, but again, it's a risk, right?
It's a risk.
yeah, I'm like getting it a little bit confused between that and challenging yourself.
I agree. Because even as I was talking through it,
It's like I'm thinking about it.
no, yeah, as I was talking through it, I was like, actually, no, I don't think this is a risk. I think this is a challenge.
Yeah, I get it about the show because you are like putting yourself on blast, in a sense.
Literally.
And even we were talking about like earlier on the show, before we started recording, you're like, you've said this before, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember saying that. But those are the things that I don't think about now, but they can affect your family, they can affect your business, they can affect what your brand or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like those are part of the things that need to happen for you to like mature, like either I did this good or you didn't.
So true.
So yeah. Sorry,
Look at
I was
us.
choking up a little
You're
bit.
all good. I know.
But not like because I'm crying, but choking up.
No, you're
and-
crying.
Yeah.
I'm not. Quiere llorar.
I'm just kidding. No, that's so true though. So I guess like a certain, I don't know, like bucket list activity that you did recently was you went to Las Vegas. How was that?
Vegas was
So the
fun.
Usher-
Vegas was Vegas.
Vegas was Vegas.
How was
dancer?
Usher?
My Usher was amazing. Amazing. If you have not gone to see his residency, please do it. It's so nostalgic. It's just good vibes.
He's Usher's a brand ambassador.
There's a little bit of everything. Before the show, the DJ has it lit. Like the music, it's lit. And I got called on stage by one of the dancers.
Yes.
Did he go up? I don't know.
I went up. You know I went up. Hell yeah, I went up.
I seen her Snapchat.
Oh yeah, I was up there. I was having the time of my life.
Was she
it was
throwing it?
fun. She was
She was throwing it?
ballpark throwing
And were
it,
they catching it?
The crowd was loving it. Respectfully, they were loving it. Amazing show. I had really good seats. I didn't think my seats were as good as they were. And Usher like goes through the audience, but he was more in the back center. And he sings to couples and he sings to women, and I know that's something we're gonna talk about too. And I just love the serenading and just him like connecting with his audience. It was a beautiful show. I mean, you get, I don't want to talk too much, but you get a little bit of everything. You get the R&B Usher, you get the fun, oh my God, you get all of it. You get some strippers, you get skating, you get different styles of dance. It was a great show.
Oh, I want to go.
Highly recommend.
So bad.
The Zach Levine. Levine? I always say Lafine because he's so fine. Zach Levine. Lafine.
That was a good catch. That was a good catch.
Because I call him Lafine.
It's a Puerto Rican
he
name.
was at the Usher concert when I went. I was hoping like, no offense to him, but I was hoping like a bigger celebrity would be there so I could like run over. But one thing about him that I thought was really sweet, when Usher was singing My Boo, like obviously everybody's like looking at Usher, but the whole time he was here with his wife. It was like Usher was, yes.
Aww.
He was with his wife. They were singing to each other. It was like Usher wasn't even there. They were singing
That's
My Boo to each
That's
other.
cute.
That
I
is so
like
cute.
I was loving that.
Okay.
I want
It
to
was
sing
beautiful.
My Boo to somebody.
It was
Right?
beautiful.
So it was like an interactive type show. So the whole thing about Keke Palmer. So Keke Palmer was in attendance, not the same day you were, obviously,
No,
but
not
a
the
different
same day.
day.
Like
and
2 weeks after. A week
her
after.
baby daddy, who is she even with him? They're not married. Is
They're
she
not
even
married.
dating him? I don't even know.
I think
they're dating.
No, they're
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
They're together.
They're
They're
together?
just
They
not
do
married.
a podcast together, no?
What? They do?
Yeah.
I gotta hear the episode after that. But
Right.
basically, he went online publicly on Twitter and was shaming her outfit, saying like, "You're a mother, right? Kind of being like, why are you wearing that to the concert? But like in a nastier way. Am I correct? Yes.
No, you're correct.
I didn't see this. I don't know
you're
what
correct.
you're
He
talking
did
about.
that. Yeah.
So
So the man basically said that, yes. And there's just like so much to unpack there that I'm just like, whoa. First and foremost, like, you're fucking shaming your baby mother, like, whatever, girlfriend. I don't know. I guess girlfriend. So say girlfriend, right?
A mother of your child.
Right, mother of your child.
Period.
Just a woman, period. But yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're shaming her outfit. You're shaming her publicly on a public platform.
Publicly.
I swear to God, if my man ever fucking shames me on a public platform, I will be at the divorce lawyer's office the next day. Like, that is awful. Like,
Agreed.
we'll get into it, and you can have your opinion, whatever, if he even has a right to say what she should or should not be wearing. However, he has his feelings. I always say you're entitled to your feelings, whatever, but that you don't do that in public.
100%. We're here.
That's what it is. You don't
That's
do
what
it
makes
in
it
public.
worse.
Yes.
It's almost like, okay, we'll get into like the whole should he have opinion thing, but like, let's say he was feeling some way. Why couldn't you just text her and be like, wow, you're really out here? I got to see your ass on social media. Text her or have the conversation when you see her. Why would you take it to a public platform so people could talk shit about you and you and your relationship now?
Because he's not shit.
Because now he's the goofy.
Yeah, he's not shit. I saw TikToks calling him like a bum, like he was like a nobody before her.
Did she say anything about it, like publicly?
Yeah, she did. What did she say?
She did. I honestly.
I want to say maybe she like tweeted something. I don't even know if she made a video. I have to double check what she said after that. But she was not having it, which I'm proud of her for speaking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just hate the fact that like this man that you have a whole child with, this man that you're dating, that you were intimate with, whatever, like publicly feels comfortable going on a platform like that and sharing that. That's you say your shit in private if you have a problem with something.
Well,
You don't air your dirty laundry.
I completely agree with it, but at the same time, there's a lot like I'm gonna have my opinion.
I love it.
We love that.
same time,
We
like,
love that.
This is kind of like a sign of maybe something was already happening before that, and like
he was
why
feeling
did
shady. He was feeling petty.
why did he feel so comfortable to be able to do that? I'm not saying that he did right by doing that, but I'm
Maybe he
saying
was
like
feeling petty.
like she had already probably permitted him like to do those things like in other situations, and then now he went public about it.
Like he's at home telling her like, why are you wearing
because
that?
That's not the first time I bet you that he disrespected her like publicly. Maybe not online, but maybe with the family or shit like that.
So you feel like he was so fed up and it was bottled inside of him because she's maybe not listening
Or maybe
or
he
something?
or maybe he was so comfortable being disrespectful in front of other people that him taking it to
Exactly.
social media wasn't like a big thing.
Exactly. Like one thing somebody once said was, "Whatever you tolerate will dominate." And I feel like she's
Say
probably
that again, though.
whatever
Run it back.
whatever
Run
you
it back.
tolerate will dominate. And I feel like
Love that.
it's one of those things that she
love
might have already been tolerating from him, and so then it just fucking dominated into fucking social media, you know. And so I don't agree with anybody shaming anybody about how they dress, but it's like, but also like, I would like, I know I have friends and I have family members that have allowed their significant others to do that, and then they get all surprised when they do it publicly. Like, bitch, why are you surprised? Like,
I see what you're
like,
saying.
there was already fucking signs of this happening, and you allowed it.
You allowed it.
And that's just tough love, because at the end of the day, those are my friends, and I'm gonna have their back, and I'm gonna be there for them. But at the same time, and it's the same thing that they tell me, because I'm that stupid bitch sometimes. I am.
I'm a stupid bitch too.
I'm not.
I'm
a stupid
that, you know.
bitch.
So for me
baby.
to say like, oh, I would never let nobody fucking talk to me like that. Like, for me to be that person,
and I'm at home being talked to.
exactly.
Like,
Yes, daddy.
For me to be that person is a fucking. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like,
I get it. No, I get it.
That's
I get it.
really
for me,
good
it's
point.
like it's just social media. They're public figures. Well, she
We
is.
don't know how their
Right.
conversations go behind closed doors.
Yeah.
He just opened that door to the
Yeah,
public.
I'm just saying, like, to me, it's not nothing out of the ordinary, because it's.
I mean, yeah, simple people like us that are not celebrities
Facts.
air their laundry on social
Exactly.
media about their baby daddies, and then the next week they're together, and then she's pregnant again, and then
Yes.
they're broken up.
Don't
and then
stop posting though, because I love the drama.
We love the
I love the
chisme.
tea.
We
The
love the
chisme
tea.
is top tier.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
that's a good point though.
For sure.
So that's
I
my.
didn't think of it that way.
That's
Yeah, I
my
didn't
2
either.
cents on that, because I don't know. It's just I've seen it a lot. Did you guys see the Noel and fucking
And
Carol
that's
G.
the whole thing. Hold on.
And then it goes from that to now.
There's a Jonah Hill thing. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my God.
Hold on, but let's stick with this first.
Yeah, I want to talk about the main
So
root
like
of it.
the root, the question is, should a man or a woman, like should they have a say, should you have a say on your partner's outfits and how they choose to present themselves? So I'm going to say, when you are with somebody, you know them before you decide to make them your partner.
Exactly.
And so for me, you're going to get what you get, and you either take it or leave it in that sense. I do not think a man or a woman should dictate how the other person dresses. As long as their actual actions and behaviors are not disrespecting you, it doesn't matter what I'm dressing, but I could still carry myself with respect and dignity and respect you whether you're there or not.
Yeah.
So, and I think if you're a man and you have a beautiful woman with a beautiful body and she's feeling good about herself, hype her up. Like let her feel all the glory, especially if she just had a baby.
That's yep.
Like that, if anything, that should make you like, wow, like you did that. Like that's my baby mama. That's the mother of my child. I feel like there should be no like, oh, why you gotta wear that? No, you celebrate yourself. It shouldn't be a question. You glow up however you glow up. I'm gonna glow up, and we're gonna, as long as we stay respectful and we carry ourselves with dignity, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think dressing a certain way has nothing to do with the person having dignity or self-respect or not.
Correct.
And a
I
lot
agree.
of times,
Correct.
everybody like puts those two things together. Like, oh, just because she dresses like that, she has no respect
where do they
for
get
herself.
Right. It's stupid.
It's because of like what Wildcat was saying last week. Like it's the norm. It's the way everybody thinks, you know. And so a lot of times, like, those are traditional values or so and so traditional values or so and so, you know what I'm saying?
And I also think, like, let's say there is a sense where somebody is not comfortable. Address that with your partner in person from the jump.
Exactly.
Like, maybe
Exactly.
like, ooh, hold on. You that was a little much cleavage. Like I feel a little uncomfortable. Talk to your partner about it, communicate. And then it's the partner's choice to be like, well, this is my body. I'm going to show my titties. What you want to do? Or you're like, you know what? If it really bothers you that much, like, I'll be a little bit more mindful. Because there's nothing wrong with either of those responses.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
It's definitely up to the woman or the man. They have the choice if they want to, I don't want to say comply, but if they want to take them into consideration when they're selecting outfits or what they're doing. Because again, there could be absolutely nothing wrong with a woman. Like, you know what? My bad. If it made you feel that way, to make you feel better and give you a peace of mind, I'll be more conscious.
And
there's nothing wrong with that. But they should not be shamed.
And also, they shouldn't be shamed, but also, and this is something like, it's really hard for us to see it like this, but in retrospect, if the guy ever feels like I'm not comfortable with the way you're dressing, and if for him that's something that because of that he wants to just not be with that person anymore, to some people it's that serious, you know, and so that's also okay. But what's not okay, like you said, is to shame somebody for them being who they want to be.
Give
We
the
all got
person the
choices.
choice.
Yeah.
Give them the choice.
Because
Give me
I
a
also
choice. Do
wouldn't-
I put up with it or
But I also
don't want
do
to?
feel like a lot of times, and I'm more on like let people be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But also like when somebody has a conservative way of thinking, like also a lot of times we don't respect that either, you know. And I think that there has to be that respect for them too, you know.
Correct.
Like you don't want this, or you don't want this, then it's okay, you know. And you know, just
agree.
walk away.
Yeah.
And what about you, Marco? What do you think as a married man?
I mean,
As a married man in the room.
married man.
I
got a
think
baby mama.
I do. I have a baby mama, wife, and a best friend, all in one.
I love that. in a
Every
package.
week he's just like,
Your best friend.
I love
you
it.
love your wife. That's beautiful.
I agree that it should not be aired out publicly. Like that is the number one thing. This is a conversation to have behind closed doors. I truly feel as though partners are extension of each other's. So when my wife is out, she's representing me, and when I'm out, I'm representing my wife. In my case, do I think that my wife would wear something like this? Probably not.
If she was to wear something like that.
If she was to wear something like this in public, I would not say anything until we get home. But if she showed it to me, I would say, hey, you know, maybe the biggest issue for me wasn't necessarily like having cleavage out. It was the fact that it was basically like a one-piece jumpsuit where like her butt was all out. That was like the most provocative thing they were saying. Now, as far as like the actions of what she did in the concert and all that, like singing back to Usher and all that, like no, like it's Usher. People are gonna fucking fall in love with Usher every week.
You
like,
grab the other hand, she grabs one, Lucy grabs one, and he's singing
You're
to both
just
of you.
like he's singing to both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I would have done.
That's what you would have done?
Yeah, Javi
But-
grabs one hand, I grab one hand.
But
And Usher's holding us
what do
both.
you really feel about if she was to dress like that?
If your
I
wife
think
did?
that we've known each other enough that she knows that like I wouldn't be okay with that.
Oh, so you're not okay with that?
No. Like me personally, like I'm not okay with that style, but we've had that conversation before. Because once again, like she's a representation of me, I'm a representation of her. And so when someone sees her, they're going to associate that with me and what I do. And then that's just going to become more of an issue. And there's going to be more like chismes and dramas and things like that.
But do you think that again, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Do you think that has anything to do with her not respecting herself if she chooses to wear a certain outfit?
No, I think if you have that conversation with your significant other and they're not okay with it, it's you not respecting your significant other more than anything. Because if I go out and do something that she doesn't like, I'm not going to do that because I have respect for her. Yeah. And so I think that there's a mutual respect there to say if like we're not comfortable with that, we can have that conversation beforehand. But I don't think publicly it should ever come out publicly.
Because my only thing is that I'm like what she does. Like I've seen people
I see
like the way they carry themselves and have like fucking crazy ass outfits.
Coochie out, titties out.
And because it's like it's an outfit, it's a look. You know, you got to do it for the look. But then they carry themselves like you cannot cross that line with them at all. You know, and I've seen like señoras dressed like that. You know, and it's like. But then they carry themselves a certain way, and I'm like, okay, like that's all. What I'm saying is
an
this.
outfit doesn't dictate.
Yeah, dressing and doing.
Yeah.
They shouldn't connect. Like,
of course,
or they could connect, but they don't have to.
But I think you have to keep that in mind. Whoever's dressing in general, like let's say if you want to dress, you have to be aware that I understand there are people that are little minded. They're gonna look at what I'm wearing and simply go off of that. Of course, that's naturally, instinctively, we're always going to judge people based off of how they look. That's human nature. It happens. You have to understand that and not be like gullible. Like, no, they're not. Everybody's going to know how smart I am and how respectful I am.
Yeah.
No, you have to understand that, maybe if I show a little cleavage and show a little booty, people are going to think a certain way about me and be okay with people thinking that, like knowing like I'm going to accept that this is the image I'm giving. However, my actions, if they're around me, they're going to see like, oh, wait, okay, she's not initially what this aesthetic may make somebody think.
Yeah, that's why I love this quote. And I think I've said it in the podcast before, but and it kind of connects to this. Like, it's not what comes from the outside that defiles a man, but it's what comes from the inside. And that goes back to this, like a girl, or not just a girl, anybody could dress a certain way, and then you talk to them, and then what comes out of them is different. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but the fact is, not everyone gets to talk to that person.
Correct.
So when you're in public, your public persona is the first thing people look at you.
Yep.
So they judge you based on what you look like.
Yes.
You could be the smartest person in the world. You could be Mother Teresa, but if you have your ass out and you have a little tanga on, people are gonna say that girl dresses scandalously.
But they dress scandalous. But they did. What if they didn't act
just like Keke
scandalous?
said,
They don't
that's what I'm
get,
saying.
but they don't get to that point to find out they don't act.
You're not gonna like if I'm in Vegas and I'm at like the pool party and my ass is out. It wasn't.
Well, it's also a pool, but
Yeah, that's different.
Okay,
That's
okay.
different scenario.
Let's say I went to the concert and something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I had a freakum dress, but it wasn't that crazy. But let's say I did. I'm very much aware that not 5,000 people in this room are gonna like look at me and talk to me and get to see like, wow, she's dressed a little scandalous, but she's a smart, respectable woman. No, and I'm very aware of that. And you just have to be okay with that. People are gonna look at you and they're gonna have their opinions, and it is what it is.
And that's true, that's true. But at the same time, how isn't that a little bit boxing people into like something like?
Well, that's
like
the world we live
That's
in.
the world we live in.
Society.
That's our reality.
Yeah, and so then I feel like, what are we doing? Like, are we boxing people in? Like I always think about it like this: my niece, right? Like, I have nieces, and for me, obviously, like I'm not their parents, so like they probably have a different perspective. But let's say one of them was trying to dress like a rocker. Let's say, what's the difference with that than the other? Like, at the end of the day, they're just
talking about identity of people and their outfits
Yeah.
and people dress whatever. Okay, right.
Yeah. So for me, I just feel like we're kind of boxing people by telling them like, oh, because you dress like this,
You a hoe.
you're a hoe.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like
I get it.
To me, that's not showing actions. To me, that's showing just
We're
look.
adding on to the problem. You think?
That's
Yeah.
just a look at the end of the day, you know. And
Yeah, I
and for
get
us to say like, I get it. Like first impressions, everyone goes by 1st impressions, but I don't want to put that on my nieces or on my family or on the next generation.
Right there.
Because that to me was something that was put on me. That
Yes.
jacket was put on me.
Yes, it is.
Oh, because it's like me. Like there's times that I feel like I have to, but then that's actually actions. That's not even how I look. But sometimes I feel like I have to be a certain way with certain people and do this. And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. At the end of the day, like, what are your actions showing? You know what I mean? And that's going back to this whole thing is that respectfully to everybody's opinion, I think if you look a certain way, we shouldn't put it on that person like, oh, just be careful how you dress, because if you dress like this, people are not going to take you serious. No, at the end of the day, be who you are, dress how you want to dress, because at the end of the day, baby, you're rare. And if people see that in you, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? And all that matters is you being you.
Go ahead and then.
Sorry.
Okay, all I was gonna say, and I would also love like Marcos' input on this part as well, but it's like I just feel like your niece and then like a 30-something-year-old woman who's married is different, unfortunately. And I only mean that in the way of like, your niece is finding her identity. You know, is she a rocker? Is she gonna wear pink hair? Like, we're 30. We know what we dress like and all of that. We have our identity in that sense, or hopefully you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Like, no man or woman should change you, including your looks. And I get that. But the only way I look at it too, or another way I look at it is like, I'm 31 years old. Like, I know how to dress for where I'm going. If I'm gonna go to hang out with Nana, I know what I'm gonna wear versus I'm gonna go out to, you know, a ratchet brunch with my girls. You know what I'm saying? So my outfits do vary. You get what I'm saying?
They do. And what I was saying about my niece is that she's gonna grow up to be an older person, right?
Yes.
And when she gets older, she's gonna.
You want to instill.
Yeah, I don't want that to be instilled within her so young at such a young age.
So this, yes, and that's kind of exactly what I want to point on. We are not going to change the world in this podcast. We're not going to make people say, hey, you should really think about it before you call that girl. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do that. However, if it's something important to you and you feel strongly about it, then it's our job to hold ourselves and people accountable. So if we're out together and Paulina's like, oh my gosh, she's a mom, why is she dressed like that? Da, da, da. So then
would never say that.
No, of course not. Right.
I know, just for context.
So then for me, it's my job, if I feel it's important, to be like, hold on. We don't know the story. Like, just because she's a mom, just because of this, like, check her politely. So I think it's our job. If you want your nieces to grow up and think differently, it's our job to instill that in them, that here's the reality of the world. Like, because we don't want to make them feel like gullible either. Here's the reality. However, you don't have to follow that.
Yeah.
You could look at somebody that has this, and this, and you could think it, but catch yourself.
And in that sense,
but that doesn't change the world. But you could
that actually
easily influence people
that
around
actually
you.
is changing the world, though. I
By
think so.
doing-
No, it won't.
I think so.
It'll change the people around you, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because we have to understand something. The people who hold the keys to our society are not our age. They're much older than us, and they're much more conservative. So I'm a firm believer that if we want to have this mindset of like, we want to be accepted and change the world, we're at least 2 to 3 generations out, in all honesty. Until we become in our 60s or 70s is when it's going to be somewhat okay to do with this and truly have expression with no judgment. And that's the difference. Like, it's just being able to express yourself. I understand. But as Tati said, the world sucks. The world is a place that's judgmental. The world is a place where there's still gender norms. The world's a place where men and women are on different pay scales still. And the reality is that. And for you to live in another world where that's not the reality, you're only doing a disservice to yourself and to everyone else behind you. Mm-hmm. So I'm a big believer in, like, we have this discussion all the time, Lucy and I, before we had kids. At the house is a safe space. You can be whoever you want to be in the house. You want to do this, you want to do that. When you leave this house at a certain age, I'm not saying when you're 10 or 12, or when you leave at 20, 25, when you're in corporate America, when you're getting a job, when you're starting a business, when you're going out to get loans, when you're going out to grow your business, when you're doing all these things, because I know this because I've done it myself. That's a whole different world. That world is extremely judgmental, and will, if they see a picture of you dressed scantily, that will close doors for you. And that's the difference. And in the world where we're talking about, where it's everyone our age group and it's very, our backyard parties and things like that. Yeah, that's a whole different world. The world I'm talking about is a world where people have to say yes to help you grow. And there's ways you can do around that, right? Like you can grassroots and grow that and do this and do it on your own and no need, no help, 1000%. But if you want to be part of corporate America, society, the financial system, X number of things, it's the world we live in. And unfortunately, as someone who's deeply into that, I've learned that the hard way. I've learned that personally. I've learned that talking to these people. I've learned that being next to these people. I've learned that pitching to these people. The world is not equal. There's no equality still. And it sucks.
And I accept what reality is.
Yeah.
I accept what reality is, but also I understand that I have a charge, in a sense, we all do, to like be able to bring change. You know what I mean? And for me, that's why even though I accept what reality is, I can agree to disagree as far as the way, like, I'm going to instill within like the people that are, asked about these questions,
Get you.
And so, yeah, that's my thought.
No,
Go ahead. No, I feel like in order to like really challenge something, you have to understand it and embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I hate the Common Core standards or I hate this, I have to study them and know them like the back of my head.
Yeah.
Because if I don't understand something or fully grasp it, how can I change it? So if that's why, like what Marco's saying is, we have to come to this realization that like we're not in this la perfect land. Sure, like there's a lot of things moving forward that are different from what we're used to growing up. However, there's still basically everything Marco said. It's essentially coming to the realization that we are not where people think we should be.
I think to
understand that first.
I think to create change, you do have to have understanding, but you don't have to have a fucking doctorate to change
that's not what I
something,
meant. I just mean like just know what's in front of you. Like know what's going on. If you want to change something, you have to
definitely
know everything first.
And one thing I guess I could relate to that, speaking of the topic of like the world and stuff, it's like I get it a lot from my fiance because I see the world in such a different way sometimes, and it's not me being gullible or naive. It's just I'm like, I look for the best. Mm-hmm. And my fiance's a ex-cop, and he's like, don't go near there. Don't do that. Do you understand? I'm just over here like, la, la, la. Life is good. I'm like skipping on the street, with my bag of candy. And he's just like, don't like what? And his mom is like that too. They're so observant and like they see things I don't see because I'm just like, I'm not naive or gullible. I just see the world differently. But in their lenses and their perspective, it's like, it's very like, tunnel vision, I guess, or very just sharp vision at something. So that's, I guess, relation to the
that's
topic.
also a testament of how you're raised.
But that's also
raised,
part of the fact of like what they've been through.
Exactly.
Too.
How
like,
your experience,
you have
how
to
you
understand,
were raised.
like,
for sure.
People like us, people like your fiance's family have been oppressed, have been segregated, have been all these things. And so they've lived these experiences where they weren't able to get jobs. They were called this, they were called that. And so right now, those definitions and terms are now changing, right? Instead of it being black and Hispanic, it's trans and gay. So those things are changing right now, but it's still the same battle that they went through as well. And that's why I think that we have to kind of look at history to say, okay, guys, like, yes, we're going through this, but we have to realize something, right? When the slavery ended, it took 80 years plus to get a black president, right? So that's technically 2 generations. So that's the same position we are now, for you to have like freedom of expression where you can wear whatever you want, people don't judge you. Why? Because we will be the decision makers by that time. As we get older, we will be put in positions of powers to make those decisions, and people our age will be. And that's why it's really important to know that like, people experience things, and that's why they're so jaded. But it's also good to know what they experience so that you can see the similarities.
Definitely. Like I don't want you guys to think that I'm not understanding of like what reality is.
No, I think we all are. I think we've all are.
Also, like to carry hope and to carry change is something that I embrace. You know?
do, and I love that about you. So don't ever lose that. And I think all of us do. I mean, Tati's a whole teacher, teaching a whole generation. You know what I mean? The next ones who are coming after us and everything. And I feel like we're making these changes. And bless you, by the way. I feel like we're making these changes. And I feel like exactly like, you know, all of our life experiences and everything. That's why I love this podcast, because we bring so much to this table, and I love that we all have different perspectives, and I think it's important. So at the end of the day, just be yourself and and be the change that you want to see. As corny as that sounds, this is the truth. Be the change you want to see, guys. But no, I love it. Any last thoughts?
My last thought has absolutely nothing to do with this, but Nestor braided my hair yesterday, y'all, and I am so tender-headed. I have so much more respect for people who wear braids. And I just want to shout out my braid people, because like I'm struggling. It hurts. I already loosened it. It looks crazy. Not because of him, because of me, but shout out to like Alicia Keys and Drake right now, and anybody who has braids. Like you are a strong individual.
I'll have them next week. I hit you up 2 days ago for braids.
Yeah, you're gonna come Friday.
She'll have braids next.
I'm next.
Can we braid you?
Absolutely not. No.
Please do. That's my goal.
We can put extensions on you.
I respect your work, Nesty, but no, I'm
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
One day.
That was my last thought.
Well, thank you guys. Follow us on social media at Paulina Rowe.
Talk with Tati.
The bro.
That's right.
But I don't put my Instagram.
Yeah, he
Sorry.
doesn't exist. He's literally a floating head.
He
The
does
voice
exist.
of reason.
The voice of logic.
The voice
There
of
you
logic.
go, logic. Well, reason, logic.
And of course, follow us at Never Too Shy Pod on
Yes,
the
sir.
gram. Awesome. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Bye.